Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we're back on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 21, and we're currently over here in the middle of Birch Tree Paradise, ready to start recording another video. And I've got to tell you, ladies and gents, I am going to be starting this episode off very positively indeed. I've got loads of things that I want to chat to you guys about, loads of brilliant stuff has been occurring recently, and I just want to get it off my chest. So first things first, I want to say a huge, massive thank you for the positive response that we got on the previous episode of Hermitcraft. Now that was the one where we were building all of these rails, we were doing all of the building, the mining, the crafting, all that stuff. I was putting in the extra hours, and it really was lovely to see that video roll out and get such a brilliant response from the community. It really showed that you cared about the amount of time that I put in, and it was just so nice. It was so nice reading all of the comments and seeing what you guys had to say. And you know what, that definitely means I'll be doing more episodes like that in the future where I really put the time in, make sure that I get loads of stuff done, because clearly that is what you guys want to see, and that is what you guys really respond well to. So you can look forward to that in the future, because that episode went down absolutely fantastically. I do have one more thing that I want to chat to you guys about, but instead of just walking around aimlessly, poking my sword everywhere, and not really doing anything, what I thought we could do is a little bit of a time lapse of me mining out the area for the Great Rails. So we will do the mining time lapse, but instead of having funky music on top of it, I will actually talk over it. Now that's something slightly different. I haven't done that for a very long time, so for those of you who enjoy the funky music, I do apologise, but you aren't getting much of that in today's episode. Instead, you're going to have to stick with my voice. But anyway, before we do that, what I want to do is a little bit of a shovel enchantment, because as you guys know, my shovel actually ran out towards the end of the last episode, and that is because I was doing so much mining with it. But we're going to be getting ourselves a brand new one, so let's just pop up to our enchanting table. Now my texture pack has not been updated here. We'll chuck our lapis in, and then our diamond shovel. Efficiency 4, that sounds good to me. Oh, that's not awful. Yeah, that's pretty good, I'm happy with that. Now this next thing that I'm going to talk about is extremely exciting for me, but should also be fairly exciting for you guys, because it could lead to more frequent and higher quality videos, which is always a positive thing. So as you guys know, I've been looking to improve my recording situation, because obviously I live at home with the parents, and that causes problems because I don't record videos when they're at home. They make loads of noise, and also it's really awkward recording with other people in the house. I try and avoid doing that sort of thing, which basically means I've got a big bottleneck on my video production. So I've been looking at solutions to this. Obviously the first idea was the home studio project, but recently I've been weighing up the finances, and I've been taking a look at properties in my local area, and although getting a house is definitely more expensive than the home studio, it's a house. It's an actual house, a piece of property in which I can live and also make videos. Now obviously I'm not going to be buying a house, that would be absolutely insane. I'm going to be renting it on a monthly basis, but that is the plan at the minute. So the home studio is now going to be the house studio project. We're going to be moving out, and we're going to be having a studio in the house that I am going to be living in. Now this is extremely exciting for me, because obviously moving out is a really big deal, and I'm getting very excited. But tonight I'm going to be going to the estate agents. They are then going to be taking me to a property that I've been looking at, that I posted on Twitter. It really is very cool. It's a relatively small little cottage type thing. I believe it's a converted barn. It's got a big downstairs area that's really open plan with a spiral staircase. That is right, a spiral staircase up to the upstairs area, which is going to be the bedroom, the bathroom, that sort of thing. But yeah, I am brimming with excitement. I seriously am. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to take a look. Now obviously, nothing is 100% confirmed. I might not like it, the internet might be poor, and someone might get there before me. But needless to say, bright things are ahead. 2015 has got off to a very good start indeed, and good things are to come. The journey has come to an end. That is right, we have finished all of the mining. Of course, there's still tons of stuff that we need to do. We need to do all of the decorating, we need to do all of the lighting, the rail placing, and all that sort of stuff. But as far as mining is concerned, as far as actually getting to the location, this is it. This is where we need to be. Little hit F3, and it is 1604. Right where this sea lantern is, this is where the nether portal is, which is awesome. We have actually made it over to where the base location is. Now you may be wondering, why have you not continued the tunnel right to the very end? And that is simply because I don't really know what I want to do once we get here, okay? I don't know what I'm going to be doing once we actually arrive at the location. That is for further planning. For the minute, it is all about getting here, and getting here we have. We have mined out the area. I just looked at that Enderman. Oh, that scared me. Wow, where did that guy come from? He is angry. He's holding a barrier block. He is on fire now, which probably isn't helping his mood. I have no idea where he has gone. Oh, I'm going to get so ruined. Why did I hit him? He didn't seem to react to my whole looking at him. Why? I'm still rubbish at this game. After all these years of playing it, I'm still rubbish at Minecraft. But anyway, we have finished the tunnel. The mining is now done. But as I say, we have got a lot, and I mean a lot, of decorating to do. As you guys know, that took an extremely long time in the previous episode, and we have got, we've got a big stretch to do here. We have to do all of this, but not only that, there is an extra bit over here which hasn't been decorated yet, as well as an elevated section. So we're not out of the woods just yet. We've still got a few bits and pieces that need doing. For anyone who missed the previous episode, the type of decorating that we're going to be doing is extremely minimal. It's to just reduce the amount of effort required to actually decorate the tunnel, because if we were going to fully decorate this entire stretch, oh boy, it would take an incredibly long time. So instead what we're doing is this little minimal design using half slabs. All we have to do is mine out all of these blocks here, going right the way around like this. Thankfully, I placed in all of the sea lanterns at the correct distance apart, which is always a good thing. Thinking ahead is always positive. Anyway, we just chuck in all of our half slabs here. The upside down ones there, those two there, and then that one. And in the middle, we are going to be chucking in the redstone block. That is going to be powering our rails. So that is the system that we're doing. I know you guys have seen that before, but the issue is all of these ugly blocks here. We need to take all of those out and replace those with the smooth zone so that everything is looking uniform and correct, because otherwise it's going to be ugly bugly. Oh, do you know what I've just discovered? One of these sea lanterns isn't actually laid out correctly, and that means that there is 7 blocks in between a certain set of sea lanterns. Now, I'm just going to completely ignore it, but I know that that information is going to infuriate quite a few of you, and I take great pleasure in that. Progress update time. I am currently being attacked by a baby zombie, but he dropped a potato, so swings and roundabouts, I suppose. But as you can see, we have decorated the entire 3x3 tunnel, going right the way through this mountain right here. Now that is the final stretch that you can see up ahead. I haven't decorated that just yet, but this is actually where we ended the previous episode of Hermitcraft. This is where we got to, so I thought I would do the honors and decorate all of this. As you can see, it is looking same old, exactly the same as all of the other tunnels that we have done for the Great Rail project, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I actually think they look really quite cool. They are fairly grey, but then again, most of it is actually made out of stone, so of course it's going to look fairly grey, and any other block choice I don't think would have gone well with the stone, which is why I'm fairly happy with my decision. But as you can see, it's not exactly a small stretch. It goes on for a fairly long distance. Then we have this little elevated outdoors experience, then we have the tiny tunnel, and then we have the rest of the elevated stuff with the big spruce wood logs holding up all of the railway tracks. So we only have a tiny stretch left to go. Now I'm going to decorate that, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. That is done. The final section of the Great Rail has now been all done and decorated. As you can see right here, we have got all of the half slabs, we've got all the sea lanterns, and it is all looking good. It looks like I've actually missed a redstone block there, so we'll replace that. But yeah, there it is. I am so happy right now. I feel like fist pump in the air because it looks brilliant. It's all finished. But I'm also extremely happy that I'll never have to do anything like this again. That is all done now. That is all behind us. That is seriously one of the most repetitive tasks I've had to do on Hermitcraft. And I'm happy that it's over. And I'm happy that it's actually been quite successful because it really does make a difference. It makes a massive difference having that tiny bit of decoration, that nice little bit of lighting. It looks so much better than the scruffy tunnel. But speaking of working on large projects and doing things that take up a lot of time, I've had a bit of an idea. Now, I'm not 100% certain I'm going to do this, because it is going to increase my workload by a huge amount, but I am considering taking out all of the rails that I've already placed, and replacing them all with powered rails. Now, that might be a huge project, and of course it is going to take up quite a lot of resources, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back over to my base, take a look at what I've got in my chests, and then decide over there. I took a look in all of my chests, and it turns out I was actually running just a little bit low on the whole gold side of things. So I was chatting to Exumavoid, and he told me that he was drowning in gold, and I thought that meant that he was going to have just a couple of stacks, but by the look of things, oh boy, he has got so much of the stuff. Look at that, that is almost a full chest of gold blocks there. He's also got some extra ones inside this dropper here. That is incredibly impressive, and he has kindly said that he will give me 2 full stacks of gold blocks, which is awesome. I mean, I don't think I've ever had that much gold on Hermitcraft before, so this is a whole new thing for me, and that is absolutely wonderful, and should mean that we'll be able to grab ourselves tons upon tons of those powered rails. I am suffering from the strangest of strange computer problems right now. I have no idea how to explain this one. By the look of things, it is a problem with my keyboard, but essentially my spacebar is now linked up to my volume increase button. So when I hit the spacebar, it increases my volume, and when I hit the volume increase button, it hits the spacebar. I don't know what to do. I seriously don't know what to do, because when I'm in water, I'm holding down the spacebar. What happens is my volume increases hugely, and then suddenly everything gets very ear-hurtingly loud, but then when I want to jump around, I have to hit my volume button to make me jump. This is so annoying! Does anyone know? Does anyone know how I could go about fixing this, because it's driving me mad? As you can see from my inventory, I've got myself a ton of powered rails, so this should be absolutely perfect. This should take us right the way from one end of the tunnel all the way to the other, because of course we are going to be taking out all of these regular rails. They are going to be going, and it is going to be 100% powered. Now that is a little bit ridiculous, okay? That is quite a large number of powered rails, but I'd say it will do the job. It will be absolutely brilliant. We'll be flying down this tunnel as if we've got a Bugatti minecart, which is something that I'm quite excited for, and it should mean that we'll be able to get from Hermit Hills all the way over to the new base relatively quickly, which I would say is a pretty positive thing. So I'm going to continue taking out all of these regular rails and chucking down the powered rails, and I'll give you a progress update in a couple of seconds. The first section of the Great Rail is now fully powered. Look at that. We have got a red strip going right the way off, just jetting off into the distance. I can feel the speed from over here, which is always very exciting, but it is always good once you get the first section done, especially when the first section is so much bigger than all of the other sections. This is around about 410 blocks in length, which means that we are almost halfway done on powering the entire Great Rail project. But anyway, if we just hop up here, my volume is gradually increasing as we go. This is going to start getting painful in a couple of seconds, but anyway, we just pop up here. We have still got all of this to do, so I'll start taking out all of the regular rails here. Oh boy, that is so loud. That is so loud. And then we'll chuck all of these down. And you know what? I'm going to have to stop recording just to turn down my volume. Things have got so much easier now that I don't actually have to destroy any of the regular rails. Just have to walk along, holding down that right click button. We'll be able to get this done in no time. The Great Rail is now fully powered. As you can see over there, all of the powered rails stretch right off into the distance. The entire thing has been done. We have got all of the powered rails in place. It is going to be like the bullet train, the fastest train in Hermitcraft. That is the Great Rail project. So everything is powered and everything is good. But there are a few bad things. First off, as you can see, this section here isn't done. We still have to do the elevated section, and I'll crack on with that in a bit. But more importantly, I've actually forgotten to bring a minecart along, which means that I am doing the maiden voyage on the Great Rail, the fully powered Great Rail, on foot. Feels a little bit silly, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm going to make my way back over to Hermit Hills because I've got something really awesome to show you. So here we are on top of a snowy peak in Hermit Hills. This is a bit of a strange location, and I'm sure some of you have seen this before, but this is the Dropper by Exumavoid. Now, I think that the Dropper is a little bit of a silly name. I would much prefer the name the Hermit Hurler. I think that sounds so much better, so please suggest that to Exumavoid. Don't tweet him, because he'll get very angry at me for suggesting that, but I reckon that's a cool name for this drop-in system. But anyway, this is a fun little project by Exuma. It doesn't have anything serious about it. There's no practical use for it whatsoever. It's just one of those things that seemed like a good idea to build, so he cracked on, and this is what he came up with. So let's just walk over here. We are not going to hold the spacebar, partly because that will turn up my volume, but also because you don't want to. But all we have to do here is walk through like this, and as you can see, we are dropped through, and then we land on a bunch of slime blocks. We are bounced upwards, and yeah, it's like a big hermit trampoline, or as I say, as I like to call it, the Hermit Hurler. So that is a fun little project that Exuma has built in Hermit Hills, and I think is very, very nice indeed, and I'll probably come over here every day just to mess around in it. First test of the new and improved Great Rail. It's alright. It's not ridiculous. I was getting comments saying that it was going to be so much faster than this, but it's been a while since I've used an all-powered rail system, and for some reason I guess my expectations were that it was going to absolutely fly along these things, but you know what? It does a decent job, okay? We're traveling at a half-decent pace. Suppose I can't complain. I do apologise for the rain. As you know, I don't like to record in weather like this, but I just thought I'd quickly announce that we are finally going to be doing the last elevated section of the rail. We are going to be bridging the gap between the final section and the rest of the Great Rail project. It's not very far, but you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use the spruce wood log support beam system that I used in one of the early sections, the early elevated sections, because I've got two different designs I use. I've got the spruce wood one, which is for the tall sections, and then I have the all half slab section, which I don't think looks quite as good. I don't think it looks quite as good, so I'm going to be going for the spruce wood, despite the fact that it's only got about 3 blocks of elevation. We'll try and work something out, so I'm going to start building, and I'll catch you guys in a little bit. I've got a bit of an update on the spacebar situation whilst fighting off a creeper. It works about 50% of the time, so yeah, it looks like a new keyboard is in the works for me, which is something that I hadn't really budgeted for, so that's always frustrating. But anyway, one good piece of information that I can give you is the fact that the elevated section has been completed, and that is the final piece of the puzzle for the Great Rail project. It is now all 100% complete. If we just take a look at this, as you can see, it's a very simple design, but I absolutely love it. I really do like the support structure that we have going here. Because these supports are so small, I've decided to do cobblestone walls right the way out the sides, and actually, I think it looks really good. I'm very happy with this design. I think it's perfect. It is brilliant for the Great Rail project, and that means that it is all done. So now what we have to do is we will head right over to this side. We will grab our minecart, and I will hop in right at this end. We are going to ride the full rail from back to front. From beginning to end, we're going to go, and we will see how it is. And you know what? I feel like time-lapsing this. Let's time-lapse it. So there we go, that is that project done. Taking a look at that video recording, the entire journey length is around about 2 minutes, which, you know what, isn't actually that bad. That's not too long. It means that I can sit down in the minecart, walk off, make myself a cup of tea, get prepared for recording, all that sort of thing, come back, and I will be at my new base. But anyway, that is enough of the Great Rail project. We have got one more thing that I want to do in today's episode, and sadly, it's a bit of a destruction mission. We are going to be destroying the Christmas machine. Yes, one of my favourite projects I've ever worked on in Hermitcraft. It has to go. It's not Christmas anymore, and that means that we need to take this thing down. But also, the reason that we are taking it down is because we are making space for a new build that I'm going to be working on that is going to be going in this slot here. So here we go. We are going to begin deconstructing Santa. It feels awful doing this. It really does feel terrible. But it has all got to go. Note blocks and everything. Such a shame. Oh, thank you, Mr. Creeper. You clearly got the message that I was trying to destroy this. Came along to help out. What a friendly guy. Where on earth did that diamond come from? Oh, it's blown up the Christmas presents. Oh, I was about to celebrate that creeper coming along and destroying Santa, but now I feel like it's ruined Christmas. This is awful. It's a little bit sad seeing this because, of course, it was once filled with note blocks that played the wonderful, if not a little bit annoying, Jingle Bells song that all of you told me was slightly out of tune, but I thought it sounded absolutely fine. Maybe that's just because of my deaf ears. But it's all been cleared out, and here we are. We are left with an empty space, but I suppose we are making way for bigger and better things, and that's the problem with doing seasonal based builds. When the season comes around, it comes and goes. You have to clear things up and get ready for the next season. The next season, of course, is Easter. Are there any Easter songs that I could create in Hermiton? Of course, I'll probably end up doing the Easter egg hunt again, because I did that in the previous season of Hermitcraft, and that was brilliant. A lot of the hermits got involved. It was great fun, so I definitely plan on doing one of those this year. But as far as seasonal builds for Easter are concerned, what sort of thing would you like to see? I could turn the Mumbo Jumballoon into a giant chocolate egg. That would be a pretty cool idea. I think that would work fairly nicely, so let me know what you think to that down in the comments section. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to clear up this final bit here, but sadly I am out of time for today's episode. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I feel like I got a ton of stuff done once again, but if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.